A lot of popular online voices say that women don't want to be housewives anymore, that they're masculine, annoying, and entitled, and they are to blame for all the dating problems in the West. But here's the truth that nobody wants to admit: women act masculine when men stopped acting like men. And if that sentence pissed you off, good, stay with me, because this video is going to expose exactly why women don't trust men enough to follow them and to pursue the traditional route, and how to become the kind of man that they actually want to follow. So in this video, I'm going to break down my thoughts on this, on why a lot of women hesitate to be a housewife, and we're going to go deep into this topic, which you can follow along on screen. But just before that, I'm going to read this post I found on X, which is where this topic idea came from. This woman talks about how when you see this classic image, imagine how much propaganda it took to convince women that this is oppressive. I mean, most healthy men and women would look at this and think it's not oppressive at all. It's a happy family. I mean, they look in love, but there's a lot of responsibility and duty and effort that it takes to build this. There's a lot of trust and love to create this. It doesn't just magically happen. And a lot of men don't hear a woman's perspective on this. And they can just naturally chalk it off as, well, it's just feminism and brainwashing. That's why they're against this. But is that really the case? Let's find out. Let's read what she has to say, and then we'll get into this topic. So she says, women don't think this is oppressive, they think it's fake. I talk to women all the time who wish that being a stay-at-home mother was something they could do, but women have no choice but to remain independent until a man proves to her that he is dependable. When men aren't dependable, they indirectly tell women that the risk of being a stay-at-home mother is too high and not worth betting on. If women don't believe that a man is going to take care of her and their children, actively participate in their marriage, that's a big one, stand by her and lift her up instead of expecting her to do all the lifting, then she has no choice but to avoid the whole thing entirely. The risk isn't worth it. If men want this, they need to create this environment. Women will take the most secure route. If you want this to be the secure route, then men need to make it so. And this is where I have to say I completely agree with her. Yes, are there feminist wackos who are just too far gone and they have so many problems mentally, emotionally, that they don't want this? Fine. But there's a lot of normal, healthy women who grow up in the West. I mean, you just think young women in their 20s or 30s who maybe they had a knowledge gap, no one's perfect, but you look around and see their fathers are weak cowards, their mothers are messed up. Maybe they saw their mothers mistreated, or they hear stories from friends and family from a woman's perspective. Maybe they've been around men they couldn't trust, or they've seen it happen again to friends or family. And you see all of that around you. As a young woman, what would be the safest option? Work, do your own thing. Maybe if a good guy comes along, then you can lean in to trust him. But you'd build your own life while you're alone, because you can't wait for a good man to come along. That actually makes common sense, right? So again, I've seen a lot of Christian men look at this picture and they're like, yeah, bro, look how much propaganda it took to convince women this is oppressive. I mean, it didn't actually take a lot. I mean, a lot of men, they put on a different mask when they're at work, at the gym, doing their thing, out the house. But the second they get home, a lot of men who are insecure struggle with their esteem or with their sin, and they don't know how to treat a woman. The woman gets to see who he really is. And once a woman sees that, she doesn't feel comfortable to create this life or to stay in this life with him. Hence why the woman says at the beginning, women don't think this is oppressive. Maybe some psychos do, but most normal women, they think that this is fake. It takes a lot of work to build this. A lot of effort and love needs to be poured in to build a relationship like this. Now we get into what I teach. And before I get into this, for those of you who want to learn more about what I do, if you want to learn more about relationships, join my community. You can join completely for free. I'll leave a link down below. I'll see you in. So let's continue on. So what is the hard truth about why women hesitate to be housewives? Most men think that the only requirement for a woman wanting to be a housewife is find a traditional woman And it's just simply not true. Because if a woman is going to build her entire life around you, bring children into the world, invest in her home, her future, her identity, trust you to provide for her financially, emotionally, and just take care of her, there are layers to this. First, she has to share your values. You need to be compatible. She has to want this. She has to have the right intentions. She has to be right with the Lord. All of those things, right? Two, she has to have genuine desire for you. She can't settle for you. She has to look at you and think, whoa, this guy's literally my type. I'm lucky to have him. Sexually speaking, physically speaking, she must desire you. Three, she must have no red flags. Everyone struggles with sin or stuff that's happened to them, but to an extent, she has to have worked on herself to the point where she's repented enough, she's made enough changes in her life, and she's worked on resolving problems to where she has matured emotionally, and she's not presenting any character flaws that would disqualify her from being a wife and a mother. And most importantly, you need the internal strength and emotional stability to make her feel safe. Because a lot of guys make 6 or 7 figures and they still can't lead a home. When you see all these millionaires like that famous football player recently, Kaká, oh, I'm a good Christian man and I make it mid 7, 8 figures, and your wife still left him. Sure, you see some of these cases with these men, they marry these women who, I mean, from my angle, when I look at them, these women have red flags, completely different values, they settle for them. These women jumped from relationship came to them. They played the good role, but they didn't actually have the heart for it or mean it. And there are other cases where there's perfectly good women and these men are cheating on them. So there's different ways you have to see the full picture, right, to give the correct answer. But a lot of men see, like a lot of these rich, famous celebrities go through a breakup or a divorce, and they're like, whoa, if he couldn't keep her, then how could I if I'm just the average guy? It's nothing to do with status or finances. You have to factor these things that I just mentioned in. Because if she doesn't have the same values as you, she's not truly going to want to be a traditional woman. If she doesn't truly desire you, she's not going to want to either. If she has red flags, and she's putting on an act, whatever she presented to you before, it's going to collapse. Or if she has the values and she does desire you and everything's crystal on her end, but you are the guy who's watching porn, cheating on her, raising your voice, mistreating her, not romancing her, the emotional connection dies because of your lack of leadership, protection, or provision, which isn't just financial, it's emotional and spiritual, then yes, on your end, you collapse that emotional connection. She loses emotional attraction and she's gone. And then, oh, but it's women, women, women. No, it's not. There's a lot of guys that make 6, 7 figures and they still can't lead a home. A lot of guys have the money, but they don't have the emotional maturity. And women don't trust a man when his presence feels like she has to protect herself. Sorry, a woman trusts a man when his presence feels like protection rather than a risk. Only a woman with low self-esteem is going to fall for a guy who presents, look how much money I make. He's showing off what he has, what he does. And there is a financial caveat here that men don't want to hear. Before you expect her to relax into her femininity, you need to ask yourself, have you built a life she can rely on? Because a good woman will be happy to live within your means. Okay, assuming you're both young, if you're watching this and you're in your teens, late teens, you're in your early to mid-20s, I know it's tough out there. If you're struggling financially, but you're inconsistent, you're unstable, you have no vision, there's no willingness on your end, it's like maybe there's a past when you're young, but if that goes on for years, or sometimes even decades as it does, I mean, most women that have a healthy esteem aren't going to sacrifice their youth on you. And this guy, I just can't trust him. And women are always going to go for the safest path to protect their hearts. If they can't trust you as a man to do your role, some women are just not going to wait around. It's like if you're dating a girl and you've dated her for 4 years and she's never cooked for you, she's never cleaned, she's never nurtured you, she doesn't support your mission as a man. I mean, eventually, even though she's beautiful and she might have other good traits, and you've given her 4 years and there's been no willingness, you're eventually going to lose interest, right? It's the same thing on a woman's end. And the safest path is to protect yourself. And that's what a lot of women are doing with these men. You are only strong as your weakest link. If you want a traditional relationship, you need to provide the environment where she can actually live traditionally. And here's the other caveat. If you are financially stable, and next day you're dating a woman, or you look back at your past, or you were dating on a serious bond with a woman, and she still didn't trust you, assuming there were no red flags, chemistry, and you were compatible, it's not a money problem. It's an emotional problem on your end. It means somewhere in the early courtship stage, or throughout your long-term relationship or marriage, for those who might be divorced or you're in a bad spot right now, your behavior showed her that you might not be a safe man to fully trust her and feel safe with. Okay, good women don't just wake up and change their mind randomly. They react to what you've shown them, what pattern. Healthy people believe patterns, not fake empty promises. Okay. So, and again, I know a lot of guys who are insecure. I've seen it over the years. Guys that want a woman to be a housewife, not because they want her to truly be home with their kids and they trust God's order and they know that's best for her. They want her to be a housewife because they have trust issues and they're afraid if she leaves the house to go to the grocery store, she's going to cheat on him or leave him. And these guys become controlling and obsessive, like these needy, controlling boyfriends or husbands, and the women sense that. A woman can sense when it comes from a genuine place where you really want to protect her and love her, versus when you're like a needy. And if you're hiding it well at the beginning, it'll come out at the end. This is why sometimes you guys are with a girl for a long time, and one day she's like, "I'm not cooking for you. I'm not taking care of you anymore." And the guy's like, "What? What?" It's like, unless you miss some red flags and she's wacko, you were probably saying and doing things enough that didn't make her feel safe, and she's like, "I can't trust this guy." Most women are a mirror reflection of how you are treating them. And also, I want to mention here, the case studies no one wants to talk about is that a lot of women who act modern have never truly been around a masculine man, which is true. I've seen cases of when a woman meets a guy who actually is grounded, consistent, calm under pressure, structured, and I'm not saying structured in like he's controlling, like he has order in his life. He's in control. Okay? He's emotionally safe, right? He's calm, he's loving, he's a good communicator, he's confident, there's no pride, there's humility there. Something clicks in them. And I've seen lots of cases of women who were raised with feminism. They get around a masculine guy, a good man that they desire, all the ingredients are there that I mentioned. And what happens? With these women who fought against tradition their whole life because of a bad family background, feminism, whatever, they soften up. And they're like, wow, all of a sudden, I want to rely on him. I find myself wanting to have his babies. And even these girls that are like, I'd never rely on a man, they start imagining marriage with him, children. Even the women who thought submission was oppression realize it's actually about trust. What it takes for a lot of women is to just be around the right guy. Some women just carry this masculine armor in the world because they have to protect themselves. They're forced to. Because of weak, absent fathers or toxic family dynamics or just classic feminist brainwashing and poor role models to an extent. And they just have to walk around like that. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that are pretty down bad and they lack emotional intelligence and they really push women away. So I've seen lots of cases of girls who are somewhat brainwashed, but I mean, remember, these things are natural. God made men to be masculine and women to be feminine. When you put a man and a woman that desire each other together, these things often come out. You know, a woman being around the man she really likes, it's going to bring out the best in her. And a man, I've even seen guys who are deep in red pill content where they were very like strange towards women. They're like incel type, all women are bad, and they start dating a really good woman. I've seen comments on my YouTube channel on this, and these guys literally say, Christian, I was deep into red pill, and when I got around my girl, she's a sweet woman, my heart melted. I suddenly wanted to protect her and love her, and I've never felt this way to a woman, and all this red pill shit went right out the window. My instincts kicked in and I actually wanted to provide for her and just be there for her. It comes out naturally. God made us this way. Okay, men and women are made for each other. So I even see this with men too, but in this case we're talking about these women. So ask yourself, if a woman who has a little bit of feminism, she's not cracking, maybe you're not strong enough as a man to bring it out of her, to bring out the best in her. I know just the other week I was talking to my girl and just giving her a compliment, as I always do, as we both do. And I was just saying, I love you so much and I'm so lucky to have you. You know, you're such a good woman. And she said to me, you make it easy for me to be a good woman for you. And it's literally what I'm talking about. Like, it's a reaction to how masculine you are. When a woman gives you respect and admiration, you're doing things right. When you're not getting that, you're doing things wrong. So, the mirror I want you guys to look into, it's that most female behavior problems that men complain about, and most, I'm saying most, are actually reactions to male instability. It's because of you. Not all, but far more than most men are willing to accept. Sure, you can get into, oh, she had red flags, she got low self-esteem, or she's messed up. Sure, maybe you missed some things, and that's for you in your vetting process to take accountability for. But you're responsible for the quality of woman you choose. Some women are Fruit Loops, and you have to avoid them. Sure. But most normal good women, if they start behaving in strange ways when before maybe perhaps they hadn't have, it's you, buddy. So ask yourself honestly, are women cautious around you because you're not consistent? Are they the one leading because you don't? Are they guarded because they don't trust your emotional maturity? Are they too independent because relying on you just doesn't feel safe? You can blame women, or you can build the version of yourself who brings out the best in them. Because controlling the controllables is all you can do. It takes two to tango. But you can work on yourself to present yourself as the most best, honorable man who'd be a good future husband and father. And for a woman to recognize that, she had to have done some work on herself, sure. But you are responsible for how you present yourself and for the quality of woman you choose. And then, yeah, she's responsible for her actions. But choose the best you can and then work with that. Because a lot of these women who were difficult, and I've seen cases, they relax around a man who knows how to lead with strength and compassion together. And if you want that reality, you need the right tools. And women aren't the main problem. Men aren't victims of modern dating. Most of the chaos comes from a lack of esteem and a relationship knowledge gap from poor upbringing and environment. And if you want that kind of relationship where she trusts you, she follows your lead, she desires you, she wants to build a home with you, it starts with the man you become, not the woman you find. Fix yourself first. And if you want help doing this and you want a woman who lives out traditional values, who would actually want to be a housewife and trust you to take care of her, join my free community where you get the community, get a free one-on-one call with me, you get access to my audiobook, which, may I add, as you go through the audiobook, you also get a link where you can download my free ebook as well. So I'm giving you everything. You can go through the community, make posts, interact, and yeah, join the group. It's free. I'd love to have you in. I'm giving you all the tools, so there is no excuse on your end. And yeah, that's my thoughts on this topic. I think, sure, there are definitely women that are too far gone that you need to avoid. There's women who are red flags who wouldn't make a good wife or a mother. But the reality is a lot of women, I mean, normal women, they get around a guy they like. There's chemistry, there's compatibility. I mean, and you're strong enough, you're masculine enough as a man, and you know how to love and lead a woman well, she will want this. Because this is natural. This has always been the natural element over humanity. So when it's not happening naturally, like, sure, you can blame men, you can point the finger at, oh, women this, women that, but it's like everyone's responsible for their actions. And you're responsible for the quality of woman you choose, and more importantly, the man you are, and how you present yourself. And you can't fake this stuff around women. A lot of guys do. A lot of guys are playing a character. They're trying to do game. They're trying to do tactics or strategies. They're not operating from heart. They're not operating from love, from esteem. And they wonder why they have all these problems. And then you get these Nick Fuenteses coming on, oh, it's just women, it's women. I know there's a lot of sucky women out there, but there's a lot of messed up men too. If you were a young girl who was in her 20s, if you had a sister or a daughter, wouldn't you be worried for her, for the quality of men that are out there? How would you behave if you were a woman with a good heart? You'd want to protect yourself from these men. You'd have no choice but to be a little bit independent until you find a good guy who you can trust to take care of you. So both men and women have their problems in dating. And you have to have a bit of empathy and understand where women are coming from. Guys, you can do so much better. And this is what I do. I help you become a better man, fix the errors in your ways, reframe your knowledge so that you can apply yourself and present yourself as a much more well put together, mature man that a good woman is going to appreciate and she's going to want to create this life with. Okay, those are my thoughts. I agree with her. A lot of women don't think this is oppressive. They think it's fake because they get around guys and they see the guy doesn't make an effort to love her. She doesn't make an effort in her love languages. He doesn't romance her when he locks her down in a relationship. He doesn't provide emotionally, not just financially. Some guys don't. A lot of guys, they have their blind spots and they don't treat a woman well. But when you treat a woman right, she will give you this in tenfold. I mean, my girl spent the whole weekend cooking and baking for me. Because she loves me. I don't have to tell her, she does it from her heart. Why? She does this because she feels loved enough to do so. If you want the same, then raise your standards. And I'm giving you the blueprint to do so. Join the community, and I'll help you turn your life around. Those are my thoughts, and that is how I would answer this topic. You're responsible for the quality of woman you choose, but more importantly for the man you become, the man you are today. Don't blame women, guys. You can be much better than that.